mind signing the same document twice, but I shouldn't sign something that we haven't actually approved.
No, those are.
Okay, good. That's
things that you like.
Ooh. All right, we ready to start the meeting? Walton County Design Review Board meeting has will begin. First item on the agenda is the minutes. We've read the minutes. So do we have a motion to approve? We have a motion.
Second.
Do we have a second? We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
As opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Okay, any announcements at this time? Nope. Okay, items to be heard. First on the list, we have Miramar Beach mattress, but we're going to wait a minute on those and go through the signs first. They've got some people that are coming that they're waiting on, so we'll go to item number 2. Nope, and item number 3. Joyce's Puppy Love Building sign. Okay.
Good evening, Tim Brown with Planning and Development. This is a request for a 17.08 square foot building sign. It's in the Santa Rosa Plaza, which for whatever reason does not have a master signage plan. It's village mixed use, and there's a lot of businesses in there, so why they haven't come in to get a master signage plan, I don't know. But this sign is in compliance with the Highway 98 331 Scenic Corridor standards.
Have any questions? No? No questions?
No.
All right, do we have a motion? Joe,
You got a question?
you got a question?
Well, it's more of a discussion, so we have to wait till after the motion.
Let's go a motion and a second we'll discuss.
Okay.
Yep, got a motion?
A motion to approve?
Motion to approve, Lourdes.
Second.
Second, David. Okay, discussion?
Yes, it says on this sheet, channel letters mounted to building, no electrical installed by licensed builder. Does that mean there's not going to be any lighting?
Yes, it's going to be unlit.
Okay. It doesn't actually say that. It says
No, it doesn't say that, but that's what they're saying. There's no lights.
Okay.
All right, noted. Yeah, so we won't light it.
It could have been clearer, but
Yeah,
it's going to be unlit.
I think it needs to be stipulated that
it's not lighted.
Could
it
be
will
glow
not
in the
be.
Sorry.
All right, so we have a point made. No electrical, not lit.
And I think the checklist indicates that. Yeah, it says no lighting.
All right. Okay. All right, well, there's the answer, and all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Next one is the Corefit Training Building sign.
This is also in Santa Rosa Plaza. This is also an after-the-fact approval because it's up. They're requesting a 23.06 square foot building sign at Santa Rosa Plaza, which is village mixed use. This is in compliance with the US 98 331 Scenic Corridor standards, but like I say, it's installed, it's already there.
It's not
No, it's not the one that's already out there.
I'm sorry, ma'am.
Four
Now,
foot.
come up. State your name, please.
Joyce Jones. I have the Puppy Love one, but Athena couldn't be here, and we sent an email to you, Tim, that I was gonna represent her, but neither sign is up yet. We were waiting on this to do it.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
I don't know whose sign's up, but it isn't ours.
That's in the,
That other sign's in the middle building, this is the eastern building.
Yes, we're down by Don Pedro's and Chopsticks at the west end of the building.
Well, it says CoreFit.
Yeah, that's CrossFit.
CrossFit.
And CrossFit and CoreFit are two different things. Hers is a gym and CrossFit is
You
a
got your
lot of
fits
other
mixed up.
stuff.
CrossFit's CrossFit,
Well,
right?
I take
Yeah.
it back.
Thank
It's-
you.
It's not an after-the-fact approval.
You got your fits mixed up.
I did, I got my fits mixed up.
I move the approval.
Second.
We got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Thank you. Okay. Let's see, we go back to the mattress firm.
Mr. Chairman, I should have mentioned this at the beginning of the meeting. I have another obligation that I will need to depart for at about 5:45. So if I get up and leave, it's nothing you said.
That's okay. Thank you for the note.
Okay.
Are we waiting on their architect?
Oh, I think
Or
so.
Tim, or whomever. Somebody, or their
If,
lawyer.
I mean, we could go ahead and start on
They're
the,
Yeah.
they're requesting you move on with the workshop because they're waiting for their architect.
okay.
Okay. All righty, let's move on to the public workshop to discuss amending Chapter 13 Walton County Land Development Code.
Yes.
Color?
I guess I'll head this up. I passed out, each of you should have a copy of the changes that we've considered so far. If you want to flip through them, everything should be in red, any of the changes we've made at any of our workshops. There were a few items that I highlighted in yellow, just so we could clarify exactly what it was that you wanted, and so you guys could double check me. But other than these changes, I think the things that we have outstanding are some landscape standards that we might need to merge parts of Chapter 5's landscaping with Chapter 13, and Tim and I are working on that. It's not completely finished. I think the one big difference is requiring a buffer between different land uses. But that could be an easy change that we can make before the next meeting. And then obviously the other outstanding thing is colors.
Yeah, Tim and I were talking before the meeting started. The two issues are, in Chapter 5, if it's unlike uses, you have to have a buffer. In Chapter 13, there's no requirement for a rear buffer at all, even if you back up to residential. In Chapter 5, that would be a 20-foot landscape buffer, but Chapter 13 specifically says no rear buffer is required. And then the 85 feet on the side, it says the rear of the building or 85 feet, whichever is less. Well, some of these buildings set back, so the 85 feet only covers a portion of the building,
Yeah.
where
Tim, can you
Chapter
also-
5, you'd have to do the whole length of the...
Can you point me to the section in Chapter 13 where it has that buffer language? I found, if you guys want to look, I don't know if you have your entire land development code with you, but the provisions in Chapter 5 are 5.01.02, which I don't think you guys have. But as Tim indicated, it requires buffers between different land uses
I think
and in the
it's
rear. But I'm having trouble finding in Chapter 13.
130303.
Yes, it's on page 17 of my book, 130303.
17.
C, no, yes, C, no. 7, 130303, number 7, rear and side yard
Ah, I see.
setback.
Okay.
County Code 50102 applies, which is what she just referenced, except that no property shall have less than a 10-foot wide buffer along its side yards to extend to the rear wall of the primary structure or a distance of 85 feet from the front US 98 or 331 property line, whichever is less, where 5 would require the whole length of the property. No landscaping and or buffer is required at the rear yards, except trash dumpsters shall be screened by a fence or landscaping. So there's no requirement in the rear yard.
Is the effect of 5.01.02 more stringent?
Yes, it would be more stringent if it's backing up to residential.
Yeah, why don't we just strike everything after,
13.
that's just County Code 5.01.02 applies?
Yeah.
Period.
I mean, if you guys want to make that change, that would be the best
Right.
way to
I mean,
handle
I
it.
can't imagine that we would want the scenic corridor to be less restrictive than everything
But what
else.
about the rest of
Plus,
it?
I
No
can't
landscaping
imagine
above
not-
Well, especially
Like a
with,
6-foot solid screen wall.
especially with the residential end of it, when you don't have a buffer in the back and.
Yeah, you need a buffer.
Yeah, you need a
You
buffer.
definitely need a
So
buffer.
I think that's a wise move on our part.
Yeah, and it wouldn't change where, if they're like uses, there's none. If you're commercial next to commercial, there's no buffer requirement.
Right.
And that's predominantly in the scenic corridor, but some of these do back up to residential.
So Sydney, we're gonna change that with the 5.5?
Before we
Make
do
that-
though, I
That's
haven't
an easy
even had time
change.
to absorb it, but that
Sure.
last sentence, let's just make sure, because I don't even know what it's saying, or last two sentences. Let's see.
Well, could we, I think, is your caution, Lee, to make sure that we don't remove a requirement that's in addition to Chapter 5?
Yeah, because it's totally different. It starts talking about if there's a
Something
wall
else.
or a fence.
Okay.
I'm gonna pass around the section 5 so you guys can look at it. Maybe I will.
If a 6-foot.
Well, what it's
solid
saying,
screen wall is constructed.
and I think that refers, it's unclear, but I think it refers to the sides because there's no requirement for the rear. It says if you do a 6-foot fence or wall, all you have to do is canopy trees, no understory trees, no shrubs, because the requirement is 3 canopy, 2 understory, and 8 shrubs per 100 linear feet for the sides. So this is saying if you're going to put in a wall or a fence, then all you have to do is canopy trees. Then the next sentence says if no wall is built, all landscape requirements would apply, which is 3 canopy, 2 understory, and 8 shrubs per 100 linear feet. It could be clearer, but it can only apply to the sides because it says nothing's required in the rear.
But in Chapter 5, it doesn't matter if you build a fence or not.
No, you have a 10-foot
Well,
or
again,
20-foot buffer.
So in chapter 5,
More
you do have
green,
the
better.
buffer in the
More
rear.
green.
So yeah, I think you can strike
But
it
only
all.
if there's difference.
Unlike
between-
uses.
Right.
Unlike uses.
Right.
If they're the
Yeah.
same, commercial next to commercial, no
That's
buffer.
fine.
Industrial next to industrial, no buffer. But residential next to residential requires a 10-foot.
So yeah, this seems less restrictive too, so I'd strike the whole.
Our intent, if Sydney, you and Tim can do this, is our intent that we want to be no less restrictive than Chapter 5. If there's something in that paragraph that's more restrictive than Chapter 5, then we'd like to preserve that.
Well,
The only thing that I could think might be is that if you see about halfway down, it says landscaping buffer is not required for rear yards except for trash dumpsters shall be screened. So I guess we still want to keep that in there in case you're
In case
have
it's
commercial
not
to
in 5.
commercial.
well, I think
Yeah.
it is in 5.
But if that's in
I
5.
can't find it.
I mean,
Is it in 5?
Well, I always
Okay.
make them do it. That's
Okay.
that's one of the things we look at is that they're screening their dumpster.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, then there we go.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
it's whether it's in the rear or not, because this is talking about the rear, you have to screen the dumpster under Chapter 5. Because this is only referring in that sentence to the rear,
So it covers all that anyway.
but regardless of where they put it, it has to be screened. Because a lot of times they'll put it on the side,
All right.
sometimes in the front, but not
So we're gonna
always.
strike that, Sydney, and then just leave the 5.01,
Okay.
02.
So all you would have here is 5.01.
Yep.
That's it.
Okay?
So I think that as long as you guys will double check the changes we've already made, I think that covers most of the landscaping. I had highlighted all of the palm trees just so David especially could double check my work and make sure I got those right. That's on the last page.
Tree man.
On page 13 of 15, it says parapets, the red at the top, parapets must be provided on all sides exposed to view from the public right of way or an abutting residential or commercial area. Did we?
Where is this? Oh,
Page 13, chapter 13, page 15, I'm
Oh,
sorry,
okay.
of 64. I totally gave y'all the wrong, sorry.
You guys added the red language.
Is that,
The parapets must be provided on all sides.
yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did.
We did.
Did you guys want that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I almost thought we said all sides because
We did
something
say,
could become a residential or commercial area down the road if it's
Oh,
not.
you're saying only the sides, it says only the sides exposed to view from the public right of way.
Okay,
let's just, yeah, remove the public right away.
okay. So I'm just gonna strike
sides.
I'm trying to
exposed
remember, did
view
we
from
say
the
all
public right of
sides?
Said
way.
all sides.
I thought so too.
We did say all sides.
But that other,
Okay.
Must be provided
that
on all
other
sides.
language would
On all sides,
cover the
period.
rear
Yeah,
if it's
because remember
backing
that
up to a
became
commercial or
that issue
residential
that we were
area.
talking about
Mm-hmm.
with those others. And we just said, let's just wrap, they need to
Yeah,
wrap them all. 'cause-
exactly.
Okay.
Even if it's a vacant lot, one day it could be developed.
Right.
I'm gonna take out everything after parapets must be provided on all sides, period.
Correct.
Okay.
That's it.
Because apparently it's common where the rear, they leave it open.
Right.
Right.
And then-
That's true of Silver Sands. You go on the back of those buildings, the parapet's open.
And if you guys, sorry, just moving along, you'll see the white quartz stone is highlighted. I had that in my notes somewhere, but I can't really remember.
We did, because
It
somebody.
came from that Terramar Monument
Yes.
sign
Okay.
deviation.
So we wanna add that one.
Right.
Yes.
We
Okay.
determined it was a native material,
Okay.
the most common rock in Florida, apparently.
And
On
then
the parapets must be provided on all sides. This may be a Lourdes and Jerry question. We're not requiring parapets. We're just saying if there's equipment on the roof, we need parapets?
No, if you're going to have one, it needs to be enclosed on all four sides. If you're going to do one, it's got to be enclosed. Because like I was saying, it's fairly common that the rear, they keep open. It's not.
Yeah,
it's not-
understood, but as an
Right,
example, the
that's
building
not what
we're
this
reviewing
says.
right now, the effect of this is parapets must be provided on all sides.
If you're gonna do it.
That means all buildings have to have parapets on
No,
all
if
sides.
you're
No,
doing
no.
a parapet.
If you're gonna do a
Okay.
parapet.
Right, but that's not
But
what
that's,
this says.
yeah,
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
And second, but I want to question whether we really are requiring if you have a parapet, you have to have it on all sides. Isn't the intent that if you have a piece of equipment on the roof and you use a parapet to screen it, the parapet has to be on all sides?
I think
So
that's the
would you
purpose,
sometimes
yes.
put a parapet up if you're not trying to
You
screen
might put one,
equipment?
like a lot of the big box stores have a parapet solely for the purpose of putting a sign on it, and there's not necessarily anything behind it you wouldn't want to look at.
And to move the water off the roof in an
Yeah.
expeditious manner to.
I think so maybe parapets
to
when
linear
used for
gutters as
screening.
opposed to box gutters.
When used
Yeah.
for screening?
I mean, we have a little rain here, so that is a consideration.
Yeah.
It's a good point.
Okay.
So it would be say if when parapets are used for screening, they must be present on all sides.
Something to that, yeah. to that.
Okay.
And when they're not used for screening, then you can just
Ah.
have them
We
open?
can do it.
Parapets must be finished on all sides that are exposed as well. That was the issue that you had. to
That
deal
are,
with.
that are viewable from
Yeah.
the public right of way. Yeah.
Well, I think the question is, the concern was that they may not be viewable from the public right of way, but something could be built, adjacent to it, behind it,
Mhm.
that would then be viewable in the future. And do we want to make sure it's closed in so that whoever is in the new project is not looking at,
Or finished.
yeah.
Or it could be next to a residential commercial when you look at it from the residential side.
So
Mhm.
Sydney, we have actually two things that we're trying
Okay.
to accomplish. The first is that if a parapet is used as a screening element, it needs to be used on all four sides.
Okay.
If a parapet is not used as a screening element, it needs to be finished.
If a parapet is present,
If a parapet is, yeah.
present for any reason, it needs to be finished on
Yeah, it should be
at all,
finished on both sides.
on all visible.
Well, I don't think if we had a four-sided parapet that you can't see into, we really don't care if the roofing goes up the back of the parapet. But if the parapet is, for example, the way it's on this project that's just about to become.
All visible
You said
surfaces
visible,
from
so
the,
Yeah,
that
visible,
covers
okay,
it.
yeah, so visible surfaces.
visible surfaces from the ground.
Yep.
Yeah, but are we saying that if you have a parapet that's just for signage, the building wouldn't have to have parapets on four sides?
On all four sides, but the back of the parapet would need to be finished.
Yeah, if a parapet exists, period, it needs to be finished on both sides.
if it's on any side that's visible.
On any side that's visible. Yeah.
Exactly, because like what David was saying,
Yeah.
you put the flashing down.
All right, we okay with it?
I might play with the language a little bit, but I think I get the
Okay.
gist.
You want to,
Okay.
you could email it to each of us separately, I guess? Okay.
And importantly, if you have a parapet, then that's what you do. Okay.
And Sydney, I don't, is it a possibility that we would adopt this and forward it tonight, or are we probably going to keep it for one
If
more
you guys
meeting?
can pick out the colors, yes.
The colors.
I think Lee's had a week like me, so there's not enough functional brain cells left.
All right, was
Because
there
really,
anything
all
else
we have
on
is the colors.
No, it's just so far to see.
Mr.
Schedule the
Chairman,
approval of the
All
colors.
right,
if you
Wine
don't
tasting or something.
finish tonight,
yeah,
we have to go back to the county commission to.
Are we on our,
extend.
This
are we
is-
on our third?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Okay.
this is the last night without asking for further permission.
we can do 3 times. We need to go ahead and finish tonight, don't we?
If we can, yeah.
All right, let's roll.
Let's
Well, how
roll.
about, just to test the water here, would it be inappropriate if we wanted to approve it contingent on the 3 architects refining, like, this definition of architectural insulated panel? And
Oh, yeah. You
Is
have a
that-
Where
question
was,
here.
you had another highlighted area, was the
Oh,
architectural
yes.
insulated panel? I mean, I'm pretty confident between Jerry, me, and Lourdes, we could get you a,
But you may not be able to do that tonight.
that's what I'm,
Yeah.
well, I mean, I guess I could go on Wikipedia right now or something like that, we can craft some language.
No pressure, but I wasn't asking you to do
No,
that.
I
Yeah, I mean, we
I
could,
was
I
asking
mean,
if that was your point.
little things like that, that's okay, we can fix. It's the colors really, that's
Yeah,
gonna be the
okay.
big
All
holdup.
right, good. Let's move on, and y'all can, we can make that motion to do that, or
Okay, so let's see if we can tackle the colors.
That's,
let's tackle the colors.
Intended to-
If you would, Laura, just take a look at that and make sure she gets the correct wording for the, hardy plank or concrete cement board. Fiber cement siding. Okay, now we are done with that. We're done with the plants too? Everybody okay with
Yep,
the
plants
plants?
are
I
good.
think-
Yep.
Okay, David gave
Oh,
a
y'all
thumbs
did
up on
too.
that. Okay, now we're on to the colors. All right. Let's do the colors.
Okay, so
Who just got the colors?
I don't know,
I didn't bring my colors.
the squares,
okay, let me see if I can remember what the
I don't know how to
squares.
start.
Okay,
you noted.
right,
What does
if,
that mean?
okay, so the black squares are what collectively David, Gerald, and Lourdes thought that we should include. And then if there's a red, so the red outlining is what's already approved in the current standards. But if you remember, there's quite a bit of difference between what Lourdes, David, and Gerald all thought was a good idea.
So this is.
So the black is just collectively what all
All.
of them together thought. So some of
Well,
them, it might have just been
just
just
been
Gerald
one. Gotcha.
thought it, or maybe just Lourdes.
That's all right, you can blame me.
You're the wild man.
Let it go, Gerald.
It's like the wild colors.
Yes.
Oh, I did this in a totally different way, so.
It's gonna be a major undertaking.
Yeah.
So our color committee is, while they're working on that, we're on
Oh, here it is.
standby.
I think it's fine. I should just.
I mean, I put no by a lot of these, but I went through like thing by thing by thing, color by color by color. It's not gonna be fun trying to. It's like how many pages? 7 pages.
I don't know how you guys think it might be best if we just go page by page. I don't know if we wanna take
Let's-
Mattress
let's-
Firm.
Yeah, let's just
Sure.
go page by page quickly, yeah.
And then see if there's any, of the colors that have been chosen, if there are any that anybody objects to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is everybody using these sheets?
You never got one of these?
I guess I
Oh, they are in here.
didn't originally, but
Yeah. I was gonna say, I forgot to bring them back.
Sheets are gone.
Okay.
and these colors are not accurate.
Tim, if you, no, they aren't.
That's what Gerald meant.
Yes.
That's the real problem.
That's why my notes are based on what we have on
Yeah.
the actual book.
Yeah.
There's another one too, though. Another set?
What?
Here's extra.
Did I get email?
Hang on.
I thought,
Thank you.
Must have just ignored it.
There we go. There
What's that, Tim?
This is what y'all have. They had made extra
What do you think?
copies, or made copies.
Oh, the colors? Okay. Yeah, take that one, and then you can.
Mr. Chairman, can I pose a question to the staff?
Let's pose one.
What, I don't know if this is best directed to Tim and Mac.
Mac and Tim.
Tim, sorry to interrupt. Do you have any idea what next month's agenda is going to be like in terms of the number of items?
Right now, there's just two. There's two signs. The deadline's not here, so we could get more, but right now, there's two signs.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, what I was thinking about is that we've also had some conversations about the language in the section about colors. And just kind of considering, I think we could improve the clarity of the language to do with the, and I think this project we're going to talk about in just a second is a good example. We have a description, very specific description of the colors for the structure. Let's see. So the first paragraph, 3, talks about primary and accent, and then it goes on with the description that describes the colors in the Munsell book. And then it talks about canopies and awnings and accessory buildings and that kind of thing. And it struck me that quite a few people have come in that seem to be confused about do the colors of the canopies, do they need to match? Do they need to be selected from within those Munsell colors, or they only have the obligation to complement? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what's my point? My point is that I think we maybe should continue this. I don't think we're going to be ready to forward a fully formed improvement of the color.
I would also like to add that, as Carrie pointed out, when you go to translate the photos to color copies, prints, they don't do them justice.
It's true.
I mean, I'm actually looking at the actual photo on the Dropbox, and
And everybody got Gerald's link for the Dropbox,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering if we maybe we all commit to when we walk in here next time, that
So-
we're ready to go on the.
So we can take a look at that and look at this and make our notes on this off of that color.
is there a
Light
reason to
color.
believe the commissioners wouldn't
No.
permit it?
I mean, I don't know, but I think that they would consider it, yes.
Would I make anyone unhappy if I were to make such a motion?
No.
Man, I tell you what, you know how to really mess it up.
I'm gonna take a nap before the next meeting.
No, I think that's probably wise to do that, Dave. I think it's probably a good suggestion.
Yeah.
I'd rather have a clear color, and you're right, it doesn't give it justice.
Yeah, I don't know if we would be able to put them on a TV screen or something like that.
We could probably do that.
That'd be
And
awesome.
I know that's still,
It would
but
help.
I think it'll be better than the.
But it-
Very
yeah,
helpful.
because it's part of the workshop, if somebody does show up, then they
Yeah,
can
because
understand
these
what
are-
we're looking at
Yeah.
too.
Or we bring the actual book in here and we,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a big
Right.
difference in those.
okay.
Okay?
That sounds
Okay.
good to me.
in that case, how would the language, do we just continue it and then you guys take care of the formalities?
Yes.
Okay. I move we continue the consideration of changes to Chapter 13 until I need to say the date, don't I? The next meeting?
You can say the next meeting, that's
The
fine.
next meeting.
I don't know the days, whatever the first Wednesday is.
It's gonna be the second. No, it's gonna be the first. No, September, October 1st.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
I second.
So we have a motion, we have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. All right, motion carries. All right, good enough. So our homework is, next meeting, we have to come with,
Yeah, but I think the homework is,
Colors.
everybody needs to study the colors either on the Dropbox or in the book, and I would suggest that everybody read the written section in chapter 13 on the colors and come with some ideas about how to make the language more clear.
what page is that on? Do we have that on?
That is page 15 of 64 in my copy.
15?
Yep.
15 through 64, okay, right here.
That's paragraph 3 and then the subparagraphs. 3, 4, and 5.
Colors. All right. Okay, Mr. Brown.
All right, number 1 on the agenda, Miramar Beach Mattress Firm color deviation. This was continued from last month. It's located at the northwest corner of US Highway 98 and Ponce de Leon Street in Miramar Beach. They have provided 4 shades of brown, going from lighter to darker. And I really don't have anything else to say. Lee asked them to bring back more than 1 color, so they brought back 4.
Well, they did, didn't they?
And they're dark enough that they don't fall within the approved Munsell colors.
None of them do?
No. They're close, but they're outside they're a little too dark. They're outside the approved range.
Currently approved range.
I don't think they go from lighter to darker.
I think they should go up.
Browns are too dark.
Sir, Sir, sorry. Okay.
All right, can you state your name? Can you state your name, sir?
Yes, my name is Jim Barton with
Jim.
Seaside Engineering and Surveying.
There you go. Thank you, Jim.
And, yes, we submitted 4 different shades of brown. I know Ms. Moore had indicated that she would maybe like a darker color, in the darker color brown than what we had initially submitted. But we also submitted one, a 5th one, which you should have, that is actually within the Munsell. It's in the near neutral Munsell color. It's not within the adopted code. You know, the Munsell, near neutral is a subset of the Munsell color.
Right.
And then the code is kind of a subset of that subset. So we're outside of that a little bit. But those are actually the 5 different colors. And as you may remember, that we first came with a color called Logo Red, and then we came back with a deviation to see about using Logo Red, and that ended up being continued from the last meeting.
Right.
And the architect for the project is here, and I think that he would like to have some input and maybe some added alternate even to what we're looking at right now.
Okay.
Do we have actual samples? The actual
Yes.
samples?
We have some samples. Perfect.
I brought, let me come back. I brought a book of samples of all of the different colors available. We have so many, you have to buy this stuff by the yard, and really didn't have time to get it before this evening. But I was able to get the Sunbrella fabric book that does have the actual fabrics in them. And it's kind of difficult when you're dealing with the colors because you have to call them to get the Pantone codes. And you're working in like 3 different color spaces. And you go from Pantone colors to hex color codes and then to the Munsell codes. So it's kind of tricky.
Jim, do you have the ones that we have in this book? Do you have them marked in there?
I have them by the page number and can point those out.
Okay,
But there was an additional one excuse me. Yeah, go ahead.
You want to pass it around, your name and state your name, please?
My name is Joseph Oliveri. I'm with Oliveri Architects. We are based out of Palm Harbor, Florida, which is the Tampa Bay area. Just a little bit of history. The tenant for this building is the mattress firm. My company has done over 750 mattress firms in 30 different states. So we're kind of their corporate architect, us and another firm out of Texas. We help them develop a simple prototype drawing building, which is similar to this building with standard colors. The color scheme is a little bit darker than what we have approved to date, and we've gotten with them and we've convinced them that we need to scale back to work with y'all. They're pretty adamant about the red. The red is their logo, just like their signage. I talked to the construction development coordinator and said, we cannot get red. And I said to him, well, what other color do you want? He said red. So that's kind of where they're at. In looking at all of these other color schemes that have been presented, and the last one, which is a tannish neutral tone, I had discussions with them, and they would, out of all the different scenarios, they would prefer to have something that were neutral in tone. And I tend to agree with going toward a neutral as opposed to a brown or a burgundy, because that's not their theme. And if we go with a neutral color, neutral works with anything, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. So we found a color. It's called linen, which is a neutral color with an actual sample along with the paint samples that, in my opinion, will meet the intent for everyone. So I'd like to look at that and see if that's a possible consideration for approval on an awning color. And understand that paint colors, we have 10,000 different paint colors. We've got a book of awning colors, and they only make so many fabrics. So our hands are kind of tied.
Right. All right. We have
Quick question.
question.
So that, the linen color you mentioned is not this?
It's not that. It's similar. Every printer is going to print that color scheme differently.
Yep.
Gerald, you stated that just a little bit ago.
Yep. So this one's heather beige.
Yeah.
Beige.
It's not the heather beige. What I'd like to do is look at the linen color.
Thank you, sir.
It's not heather gay, beige, no?
No, he's
getting a-
suggesting a
a
alternate
linen.
color.
Something close to it, which.
You can start.
So these are the two paint colors, and this is the color that she proposes.
You say this?
It's in the same color family. It'll just be neutral. It'll serve the purpose for an awning, and it won't be offensive in any direction.
So it's this here at the bottom.
Let's call it the colored linen, yes. That rendering depicts something that has a green tone to it. It's just the plotter that was plotted on.
Okay, so this Jefferson House tan is the main body, and this is the accent color. Is that what?
The lighter color is the accent. It's the horizontal banding, and the darker color is the body of the building.
My comment is, I don't think that the paint color and the linen color favor each other. Like the body color paint seems to have some green in it. They they kind of clash a little bit.
It's the closest color that we could get out of what's available. And I think that once you get it outside on the building and the sun hits it with the sun and the shadows.
I think this umbrella color is nice, but I don't know if the body color is compatible. Is there any way you can?
Well, I'd be more than happy to modify the body color to work in the same tone with the linen. That would be easy to do.
I mean, it makes it easier to work with the darker. I mean, I think the lighter color looks good.
I agree with Gerald in terms of the color.
The paint
It's got a
color.
little green and it doesn't, you know,
So it might be possible to have that awning color and change the color of the building slightly, just so that
Slightly, and we could pick one of the Munsell colors that, I know I can get a Munsell color that is approved from your list that will work with that awning color and the trim color.
because the linen color is nice.
Yeah, the linen it's a nice color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good suggestion.
So
Any
I'm
questions?
sorry, just to clarify, is the linen color approved Munsell color under Chapter 13 guidelines, or is it slightly off?
I'm not sure that if it is or is not, but I think it's within the
it would be.
intent.
Okay. Can you
I would
tell
think
me
so.
I
if,
would think it would be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that color's on.
The tone of it appears to be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm the non-architect, but are you suggesting that you would measure this color to more closely resemble
We-
the fabric?
We would pick a color that was in the same tone from dark to light as that, but was more in harmony with the linen color.
Right.
Yeah, a little less green.
Let Tim, okay, all right. You want to make a
So-
motion?
well, I just spoke with Tim. It looks like the color of the awning is not quite in our approved list. So if you guys like the awning color, we would have to have a motion to approve that deviation. Okay?
So just to be clear, if there's a motion, so we're going to motion for approval on the awning as well as, and the trim color, and then we just need to modify the body color to be in more harmony with the color palette.
Exactly.
I would like to probably review the body and the trim again.
do you want us to review it, or do you want Tim?
Do you want Tim to just, because he knows?
Well, what David and I discussed, and I think it's a good idea as long as it passes legal muster, is can they assign an architect to come in
No.
with me and
No.
approve it?
No.
I'm not an architect. I can't, I don't think I can speak for the board on that issue. Anything dealing with the code, yes, no problem.
But specific color matching you're uncomfortable with?
I don't know that I can represent what you all want.
We just, the color is just not green. I mean, just, it's what you're saying.
It
just-
has some green, too much green in it,
So
so
just a little tan. That's it. Just take the green out, put tan in, and you can do that.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
Yes, I can do that.
That's really what it's all, I mean, that's,
If someone would give me an actual paint sample or a deck or color chart, we can pick it right now. I'd like to be able to leave here.
Yeah, we
tonight,
want you to
go back
leave
to
here
Tampa
too.
Bay,
Our goal too.
telling my
Yeah.
client that we're done with it.
yeah, there's no sense, you've done a very good job of bringing some opportunity and some suggestions for us.
Do we have the Munsell book?
Yes, we
We
do.
do?
Would it,
We have the Munsell book. Let me
So
pick up
the
couple
linen
options.
color is not in the Munsell?
not our approved color?
No, it's not in there at all. It's 2YR.
Oh, okay.
Our book is only 5 and 10. The colors are either 5 and 10. This is 2.
So it's,
it's 2YR.
Yes.
Happy to approve a deviation for that color.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
I
let's
think
It's a
approve.
so.
beautiful color. It goes with
Yeah.
our
It's actually
Normal
2.5 wide.
2.5 wide.
I'm sorry.
That's a good color.
2.5 wide, 7.2,
It's 2.5 wide.
7.2.
But I can do that. I mean, I can determine that there's no green in there.
That's all we need.
Is it?
That's,
Yeah,
that-
no green, just tan.
that's
You know,
doable.
sort of like
Gray, no green, just tan.
Lighter tan.
You can do that.
Yes.
Yeah,
I know you can. You've done it before.
Can I just throw out a suggestion if maybe you would like to look at the Munsell book and pick out some colors tonight, or
Right.
do we want to do that?
I would be, listen, I traveled 9 hours to get here. I'd be more than happy to spend an hour picking out colors.
I just want us to all be as clear as possible and on the same page.
Yes,
So if you wanted to take a minute and do that?
yes.
Okay. Would you like your color samples back?
I would like
Yeah,
the linen.
so we match it with the linen.
Where is this?
So,
Yeah,
do we
I had
need
to
to-
give my credit card to get that, so I.
So if,
So we need to do a motion.
And just so y'all know, that color is one we're considering adding.
Yeah.
That tan?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. so-
Everybody seems pretty,
Well, I mean, it's a pretty color.
It
I
is.
don't, I don't know why it wouldn't be.
yeah, that's one
I
we're
like it
considering
10 times
adding.
better than that yellow.
God, yes.
Oh, man, you talk about sticking out like a sore
And
thumb.
100,000 times better than,
Yo, I agree.
God, yes.
So let's make it,
Yeah, let's make it work.
please, yeah.
Actually, that's 5 wide.
It's not quite, because it's not in there.
I think it's a matter of looking at it under these lights, because that's, the paint color is 5 wide.
Can you go, hey, Gerald?
We're talking about
Yeah, we're talking about
the
the
awning.
awning color.
We're ta-
Oh, has this got too much?
No, we're talking about the paint color as far as picking one out, you mean? Can you go
Yeah.
outside with that? Can somebody, Gerald, go outside and look at that in the daylight and see what it looks like with what he's got colors in the awning? Would that make a difference?
The awning, I think,
In terms of the green?
Yeah.
No.
It won't
You
make
can,
any difference.
you can
You
tell.
can tell?
Yeah,
You
you
can
can
already
tell.
tell.
It doesn't go.
this from tungsten light is usually fairly
Pretty good?
good.
Up.
That's way,
Okay,
hey, I just sell the stuff, I don't.
let me look that up.
So could they just pick a shade off from that for the paint? Is that how it works?
Yeah, they need to get out of the green hues.
And there's no, it's not on here, so we don't have
Into the yellow
The
reds.
color of the awning,
Yeah.
yeah, it's not, we don't have that.
And then the color of the,
There's 2.
What is the code?
what about, the paint for the outside, the one we're talking about with green? We want something more tan, brown?
No,
Well,
the
Jerry's
hues,
just saying he just needs to go to the YR family.
10 wire,
A shade
okay,
Just a tan,
out of there.
brown.
Stands
not
for
green
yellow red.
Shade, okay.
all right.
Did you find it?
This
What
is
else you
10
got?
wire, that's what everything.
What you got
For the paint color?
on the value?
That's got green in it, right?
No, it'd be yellow red.
7? Yeah, this thing does,
Oh, that's not
it
green, that's
actually
brown in
Karen, are you
Yeah,
getting
this
all
is
this?
yellow red. Is
doesn't like those
it.
halves.
That's it right there.
Mhm.
So that would be let's see, 7.
Muscle, right here.
Seven.
Shoot, this looks familiar.
From Tampa.
Read that 7
Okay, we're gonna move. We're gonna move. Go. Things to do, places to go.
Deluxe paint schemes,
It's
muddy puddle. Benjamin Moore, Driftscape tan.
Got one?
Yes.
Is it true architectural better under pressure?
Yeah. We're always under pressure.
You're always under pressure. I would believe that.
We don't work when we're not under pressure.
You can tell he's off the quality now.
Yeah.
I can tell.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the sun's shining through the front door if you need some sunlight.
I'm looking at 10Y or 7.2.
That's nice.
Is that where you're
So
at?
instead of this, it's this one?
You
Seven?
might want to keep this as a reference.
This is on.
Oh, to show the difference. So it's number 7,
Yeah, the one with the little blue dot.
1.5, blue dot. And where'd that accent color go?
Yeah.
If anybody wants
Can
to
we have
see
the
it.
accent color back, please?
Just to see it all together, might as well.
He gives me the text code and then gives me the.
You can get up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pass it down there, y'all.
Yeah.
Put your eyeballs on it and figure it out.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good line. I like those. They look like them. I'm not the expert. Second one over.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was nice.
That Benjamin Moore.
We're good? I'm going with what y'all, no, I'm going with what y'all said.
No, I believe you.
Yeah, we trust you.
I think we have a winner.
Starting with Gerald all the way.
That's it.
Okay, so our new alternative replacement is 10YR 7 1.5 for the body color.
So are we?
Is that, I'm sorry, is that an approved color?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That is
Okay.
an improved color.
So you just need to put that in your motion.
So make a motion?
Okay, so do we have a motion yet?
Yep, nope.
Just to clarify, we're still on the deviation for the awning, so we need a motion for that.
To do the awning first and then the color after that, or does it matter? Just both?
Or do you make the color the condition of the approval of the deviation?
Yes.
So you just do it all in one.
Paint color.
Yeah, all in one.
You hear that?
No.
You make the color of the paint a condition of approving the deviation.
A condition. Okay. I'd like to motion that the Miramar Beach Mattress Firm color deviation be approved with the contingency of the approval for the body color as 10YR 7 1.5 from the approved Munsell colors.
And Gerald, just to be clear, if you could tell us the color of the sunbrella, so we'll have that for the
Yes.
deviation.
And the canopy awning color is Sunbrella, color linen, LINEN. And the accent paint for the exterior is Antique White by Glidden. Is that what this is?
Yes.
Mhm.
Antique White WN03.
Okay, we have a
A
motion.
second?
Get a second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign.
That's gonna look great.
Motion carries.
Thank you so much.
Thank
all of
you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your patience. All right, Mr. Brown.
The next one is the project, the Miramar Beach Mattress Firm major development. This was continued from our last meeting. They're requesting approval of a 5,700 square foot commercial building on 1.75 acres with future land use of coastal center located at the northwest corner of Highway 98 and Ponce de Leon. From what I can tell, they did what the board asked them to do last time. They added a window and they moved the landscaping. So I'll let Jim cover it, but it appears that they did what the board requested of them.
This was a result of our discussion, Gerald, and your drawings, you sketched that for us, adding a window here that was basically a mirror of this one.
Mhm.
Then, instead of eliminating this window and bringing it here, they elected to keep double windows, just adding this one. And then the architectural plan was modified to shift this landscaping down to that end in regards to the sketches.
Perfect.
You might not have those.
I don't have the elevations in here.
I don't think we have the new ones after.
No, we didn't, did we?
I think they're with the deviation.
Oh,
Yes.
I don't know what the mix-up was, but I believe they're in that part of it, of your book. Because they've got all four sides.
Oh, yeah.
oh, so these with the color options are the new
Yes.
window placement and all that?
Yes.
I didn't know that. Okay.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
That's-
Northeast. I think they're the same. Oh, this is the one that faces away from the road. Okay,
Yeah, it's in there. It looks good.
it looks much better.
Yeah, it looks much better. And I noticed that the others do have those windows.
Hmm?
They do have, the other buildings
Mhm.
along through there do have that side window like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it looks much better.
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay, well, looks like, they did everything we asked.
Do we need a motion?
So we need a motion.
Just to satisfy curiosity, since we have an architect here, can we ask about the orientation of the building? Not that we're requiring a change, just
Oh.
curious. I'm just curious.
Can we ask you one question?
This is totally curiosity. It's fine, the way it is. But we had some discussion last meeting about why the front of the building was not oriented to 98. Just curious, was it a fit problem? You know what I'm saying?
The majority of the parking is on the north side,
Yeah.
on the east side of the building. Just for ease of access, handicap accessibility, just makes sense to, and I don't really think that the building has a front. I mean, the facades of the building are designed such that I don't really
Yeah,
think
no,
that there's a front,
especially
even though
now.
there's a door there.
Right.
We try to make the elements facing the road feel like it's not
We're just
front,
curious.
sides, and rear.
Okay.
It might actually be a benefit to not have a bunch of cars in front of it.
Sitting in
So-
front.
Well, we encourage parking to the rear or not to the front, so that,
Yeah.
the parking would have been better that way
Perfect,
anyway.
perfect. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much. All right, do we have a motion?
A motion that the Miramar Beach Mattress Firm project as submitted is approved.
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, with that being said, we don't have anything else on the agenda, so we have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
A motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thank y'all very much. Thank y'all for all being here. Good job. And we